Jim Roper, 1949, Charlotte Speedway, North Carolina. Jim Roper won NASCAR's first strictly stock race, now recognized as the Cup Series, on June 19, 1949, under extraordinary circumstances. Initially second at the Charlotte dirt track, Roper was declared the winner after the apparent victor was disqualified for using non-stock springs. Roper had driven from Kansas to compete, making the triumph even more improbable. It was his only career win. He started just one more race, giving him a remarkable 50% win rate in Cup history. After 1949, he returned home and never scored another victory. Johnny Mantz, 1950, Darlington Raceway, South Carolina. Johnny Mantz stunned the field by winning his only Cup victory at the inaugural Southern 500 on September 4, 1950. Starting dead last in a 75-car field, Mantz cleverly outfitted his Plymouth with hard truck tires that outlasted his rivals' tires. While faster cars made frequent pit stops, Mantz maintained a steady pace, conserving equipment. Chaos reigned that day on NASCAR's first 500-mile paved race, but Mantz was the ultimate survivor and won by 9 laps. He ran only a handful of NASCAR races thereafter, focusing on other series, and never won another Cup event. Bill Rexford, 1950, Canfield Speedway, Ohio. At age 23, Bill Rexford captured the 1950 NASCAR championship with a single victory to his name. His lone win came in the Poor Man's 500 at Canfield on May 30, 1950, where he seized the lead on lap 121 and finished 2 laps ahead. Rexford's consistent finishes, 11 top 10s that season, edged out legends Fireball Roberts and Lee Petty for the title. He remains the only Cup Series champion with just one career win. A dispute with his car owner and injuries curtailed his career, and Rexford never visited victory lane again. Wendell Scott, 1963, Speedway Park, Jacksonville, Florida. On December 1, 1963, at Jacksonville Speedway Park, a half-mile dirt track, Wendell Scott became the first black driver to win a NASCAR Grand National race. He passed Richard Petty with 25 laps remaining in the 200-lap Jacksonville 200, eventually winning by 2 laps over Buck Baker, despite officials initially declaring Baker the victor. After a 2-hour scoring review, Scott was formally awarded the win, but the trophy ceremony had already passed, and he never celebrated in victory lane. Over a 13-year career of 495 starts, Scott earned 147 top 10s. Though limited by racism, lack of factory support, and outdated equipment, this remained his sole Cup Series win. Mario Andretti, 1967, Daytona 500, Daytona Beach, Florida. International racing star Mario Andretti won the 1967 Daytona 500, marking his sole NASCAR victory. Driving a Ford for Holman Moody, Andretti dominated the Great American Race, leading 112 of 200 laps and beating NASCAR hero Fred Lorenzen to the finish under caution. It was a stunning feat, making Andretti the first driver born outside the U.S. to win a Cup race. Having excelled in IndyCar and Formula One, Andretti ran only 14 Cup races in his career, focusing elsewhere thereafter, and never captured another NASCAR win. Richard Brickhouse, 1969, Talladega 500, Alabama International Motor Speedway. Richard Brickhouse prevailed in one of NASCAR's most controversial races, the inaugural Talladega 500 on September 14, 1969. Top drivers boycotted the event over tire safety, so a patchwork field of fill-in racers took the green. Brickhouse, driving a Dodge Daytona, emerged from the 36-car field to take the checkered flag as only 15 cars finished. It was his first and only Cup win. He competed in 38 other Cup races without another victory. Brickhouse's upset demonstrated that on the biggest superspeedway, underdogs could triumph, even if just once. Mark Donohue, 1973, Western 500, Riverside, California. Famed road racer Mark Donohue scored a single NASCAR victory in the January 1973 Riverside Road Course race. In just his 4th Cup start, Donohue piloted Roger Penske's AMC Matador to win the Western 500, showcasing his world-class talent on a winding circuit. This win was Team Penske's first in NASCAR and remains the last Cup victory by a true part-time road course ringer driver. Donohue only entered 2 more Cup events. Tragically, he died in 1975 from injuries in a Formula One crash, leaving behind a unique 1-win NASCAR legacy. Dick Brooks, 1973, Talladega 500, Alabama. Dick Brooks was a steady NASCAR campaigner who tallied 358 Cup starts, but only 1 win. That victory came in the 1973 Talladega 500, a race already notorious for its bizarre happenings. Brooks survived the attrition at the 2.66-mile superspeedway and led the final 8 laps to grab the win in an upset. In that same race, rival Bobby Isaac famously withdrew after hearing voices, adding to the lore. Though Brooks logged 57 top 5 finishes in his career, he never again found victory lane, often hampered by mid-tier equipment. Earl Ross, 1974, Old Dominion 500, Martinsville Speedway, Virginia. Earl Ross became the first Canadian to win a NASCAR Cup race with his lone victory in the Old Dominion 500 at Martinsville on September 29, 1974. Driving a Junior Johnson Chevrolet, Ross dominated the tight Martinsville Oval, finishing a lap ahead of Buddy Baker. Only 10 of the 30 starters were running at the finish, highlighting the race's attrition. Ross earned 1974 Rookie of the Year honors but ran only part-time afterward. After that breakthrough win, he returned to racing in Canada and never claimed another Cup triumph, making his stateside victory a singular achievement. Ron Bouchard, 1981, Talladega 500, Alabama. In August 1981, rookie Ron Bouchard pulled off a breathtaking upset at Talladega Superspeedway. Coming to the checkered flag of the Talladega 500, Bouchard was third in a tight draft but swept low to pass Darrell Waltrip and Terry Labonte in the final yards, winning by inches. It was his first Cup win in just his 11th start and earned him 1981's Rookie of the Year. Driving for a small independent team, Bouchard never won again, as he seldom had equipment capable of repeating the feat. Nonetheless, his dramatic slingshot victory remains one of Talladega's legendary finishes. Greg Sachs, 1985, Firecracker 400, Daytona Beach, Florida. Greg Sachs' lone Cup win came in spectacular fashion at the 400-mile Daytona Speedway on July 4, 1985. In a one-off drive for DieGuard Racing's research and development team, Sachs surprised the field with an unexpectedly fast Chevrolet. He charged past superstar Bill Elliott late in the race and pulled off a shocking upset to claim the Firecracker 400. This triumph, the only one of Sachs' career, came despite him not being a regular on the tour. After the win, Sachs never had a comparable ride again, and he never returned to victory lane in Cup competition. Lake Speed, 1988, Trans-South 500, Darlington Raceway, South Carolina. Lake Speed finally notched his sole Cup win on March 27, 1988, at the grueling Darlington Oval. The independent owner-driver capitalized on an afternoon of attrition. Multiple wrecks thinned the competition, and his number 83 Oldsmobile was hooked up. Speed led a remarkable 178 of 367 laps, including the final 49 circuits, to win the Trans-South 500 by 19 seconds. It was his 164th career start and first victory. Despite a fast name and a long career with 402 starts, Speed never won again, as funding challenges kept his team from reaching those heights a second time. Phil Parsons, 1988, Winston 500, Talladega Superspeedway, Alabama. Phil Parsons, younger brother of Hall of Famer Benny Parsons, claimed his only Cup victory in the Winston 500 at Talladega in May 1988. Driving an Oldsmobile for the underdog Jackson Brothers team, Parsons led 52 laps, including the crucial final miles, amid the high-speed pack racing Talladega is known for. The win was a popular one, and Phil's transition from driver to TV commentator later kept him in the sports spotlight. However, on the track, he never managed another win in his 203 Cup starts, as he never again had a ride as competitive as that day in '88. Brett Bodine, 1990, First Union 400, North Wilkesboro Speedway, North Carolina. Brett Bodine's only victory, earned at North Wilkesboro on April 22, 1990, came shrouded in controversy. In the days before electronic scoring, a mix-up under caution caused the pace car to pick up Bodine as the leader mistakenly, giving him track position he might not have had. Regardless, Bodine proved worthy. He led the most laps that day and was first to the finish. The win stood, but critics debated it for years. Brett, the middle of the three racing Bodine brothers, never won another Cup race, eventually becoming a backmarker team owner and later a NASCAR official. Jerry Nadeau, 2000, Napa 500, Atlanta Motor Speedway, Georgia. Jerry Nadeau's lone victory came in the 2000 season finale at Atlanta, driving the number 25 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. Nadeau started from the pole and led 155 laps, including the final lap, on the slick Georgia Oval, holding off the legendary Dale Earnhardt to secure the win. It seemed to herald a promising future for the young driver. Unfortunately, in May 2003, Nadeau's career was cut short by a serious practice crash that left him with critical injuries. He never raced in Cup again, making that Atlanta triumph his first and last Cup win. Johnny Benson Jr., 2002, Pop Secret 400, North Carolina Speedway, Rockingham. Former Busch Series Xfinity champion Johnny Benson Jr. achieved his sole Cup win at Rockingham on November 3, 2002. Driving the number 10 Pontiac, Benson dueled and ultimately held off 3 hard-charging Roush Racing Fords, ironically, drivers from the team he'd left 2 years prior. The victory was popular in the garage, as Benson was respected as a steady veteran. However, he injured his ribs in a wreck the next season and lost his Cup ride. Benson later found success in the Truck Series, but he never returned to Cup victory lane after that Rockingham win. Casey Mears, 2007, Coca-Cola 600, Charlotte Motor Speedway, North Carolina. Casey Mears scored his only Cup Series victory in NASCAR's longest race, the 600-mile Memorial Day Classic in 2007. Driving Hendrick Motorsports' number 25 Chevrolet, Mears played the fuel mileage game perfectly. As others peeled off for late splash-and-go stops, Mears stretched his fuel to the limit, taking the checkered flag with just fumes to spare. He edged out fellow surprise contenders J.J. Yealy, Kyle Petty, and Reed Sorensen in a fuel drama finish. Though part of a famous racing family, Mears never won again. Following that season, he moved between smaller teams and could not recapture that magic moment. Trevor Bayne, 2011, Daytona 500, Daytona Beach, Florida. In one of NASCAR's most fairy tale upsets, 20-year-old Trevor Bayne won the 2011 Daytona 500 in just his second Cup start. A day after his birthday, Bayne mastered the draft in the iconic Wood Brothers Ford, surviving the chaos of NASCAR's biggest race to shock the world. The win marked the Wood Brothers' return to victory lane and made Bayne the youngest Daytona 500 champion ever at the time. However, Bayne never captured a second Cup win. His subsequent seasons were hampered by health issues and uncompetitive equipment, making his Daytona triumph a singular high point of his career. Regan Smith, 2011, Showtime Southern 500, Darlington Raceway, South Carolina. Regan Smith delivered an underdog triumph in the 2011 Southern 500 at Darlington, the storied track's annual marathon night race. Driving for the single-car furniture row racing team, well before it became a championship outfit, Smith stayed out on older tires during a late caution. In a nail-biting sprint to the finish, he fended off Carl Edwards, who was on fresh tires and arguably the faster car. Smith's savvy and Darlington's difficulty paid off with his only Cup win. Though he had other strong runs, even a near win was erased by a Talladega infraction, Smith never won again, as he never again had such a competitive ride. Paul Menard, 2011, Brickyard 400, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Indiana. Hailing from a family of racing sponsors, Paul Menard etched his name in NASCAR lore with a single shining victory at the 2011 Brickyard 400. Menard gambled on fuel strategy in one of the sport's crown jewel races, conserving enough gas to hold off a charging Jeff Gordon in the final laps at Indy. Crossing the line first, Menard realized a lifelong dream, fittingly at the track where his father had long fielded Indy cars. Despite a solid career and 471 Cup starts, Menard never won another race. His Indianapolis win, however, remains one of the great upsets and a cherished family milestone. Justin Haley, 2019, Coke Zero Sugar 400, Daytona International Speedway. Haley, a 20-year-old Xfinity regular, scored a stunning upset in the summer 2019 race at Daytona. Driving for Spire Motorsports, a new underfunded team, Haley was running mid-pack when a huge 18-car crash and looming weather changed everything. By staying out under caution, he lucked into the lead just as lightning and rain forced the race to be halted and then called official with 33 laps remaining. Haley led only one lap but was declared the winner in just his third Cup start, one of the biggest long-shot victories ever. It was also Spire's first win. Though young Haley continues to race, he has not yet won again as of 2025. His rain-shortened Daytona triumph, where the stars aligned, stands alone. Cole Custer, 2020, Quaker State 400, Kentucky Speedway, Kentucky. Custer's only win to date came as a rookie in July 2020 at the Kentucky Speedway. On the final restart with 2 laps to go, Custer charged to the outside in a bold 4-wide move for the lead. He powered past veterans Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., and Ryan Blaney to take the white flag in front. The 22-year-old held on to claim the win, becoming the first rookie to win in a non-superspeedway race in nearly a decade. It was an electrifying finish and marked the peak of Custer's Cup career so far. He struggled in subsequent seasons and was demoted to Xfinity, making that daring Kentucky performance his lone Cup victory and a memorable one at that. Harrison Burton, 2024, Coke Zero 400, Daytona International Speedway, Daytona. Burton earned his first and only, so far, win at Daytona in August 2024 and delivered a milestone 100th Cup win for the Wood Brothers team. In a wild overtime finish, the 23-year-old Burton used a push from behind to pass two-time champion Kyle Busch on the final lap and held on by 0.047 seconds at the line. The win locked the sophomore driver into the playoffs and was a massive upset under the lights at Daytona. Burton had not been a frontrunner prior to this superspeedway stunner. While his career is still young, he has yet to win again since that night. His Daytona victory, a historic one for an iconic team, may end up an unforgettable one-off, accomplished via perfect timing and a little Daytona magic. These were some of NASCAR's one-hit wonders, drivers who touched glory just once and never again. Which of these surprise winners do you think had the most unforgettable moment? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into NASCAR's underdog triumphs, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the NASCAR's Explainer for fresh NASCAR stories, scandals, and legends every single day.